You're at a concert. Thousands of people surround you. The music ends. The crowd erupts into applause. Then you notice something strange. One person nearby isn't clapping normally. Their palms never touch. Instead, the backs of their hands strike together. Again and again. At first, you think nothing of it. Maybe they're joking. Until someone beside you quietly whispers, "Don't do that." That's how the dead clap. And suddenly, your laughter disappears. Because in Japan, there's an old belief. When it comes to the dead, everything is reversed. The clothes they wear, the direction they're buried, even the way they clap. And according to some people, imitating the dead invites them closer. Tonight, we're beginning something special. For the next 7 nights, we'll explore rituals, curses, and forbidden practices from around the world. Some are ancient, some were born on the internet, and some people still refuse to perform to this day. So if you don't want to miss tomorrow night's ritual, make sure to subscribe, because each night, the stories only get darker. Tonight, we are going to talk about Ura Hakushu, the reverse clap. Welcome to night 1 of 7 nights of forbidden rituals. Every culture has rules about death, things meant for the living, and things meant only for the dead. In Japan, there's an old saying, when it comes to the dead, everything is reversed. Take the kimono. A living person wears it left over right, but for the deceased, it's reversed, right over left. Shoes may be switched, objects arranged differently, rituals inverted, because mixing the world of the living with the world of the dead has never been considered wise. There's an old story in Japan. A couple is driving home late one summer night after a festival. They're laughing, singing, flirting, enjoying the drive home. Then they see a young boy standing alone on the roadside, wearing a yukata. The woman tells her boyfriend, "Stop the car, he might need help." But instead of slowing down, the man presses harder on the gas. The car speeds away. She's furious. How could he leave a child alone in the dark? For several seconds, he says nothing. His hands grip the steering wheel tightly. Then, in a trembling voice, he finally speaks. "Did you see his yukata? It was backwards. He isn't human." That is the idea behind Ura Hakushu, the reverse clap, a gesture that looks simple, almost silly, until you understand what people believe it means. Normally when we clap, our palms meet, palm to palm, life meeting life. In Shinto prayer, clapping is sacred. It calls attention from the gods, marks respect, and opens communication between the human world and the divine. But reverse the clap, and the meaning changes. In Onmyodo, an old Japanese system connected to yin, yang, and divination, the palm is associated with yang, light, life, the sun, positive energy. The back of the hand is associated with yin, darkness, death, the hidden world. So when someone claps normally, it's considered auspicious. But when someone claps backwards, some believe it becomes a curse, a way of inviting death or calling it towards someone else. And like many curses, nobody knows exactly where the story began. Some say it came from old ritual practices. Some connect it to ancient myths. Some trace it to online horror forums in the late 2000s. But one explanation is especially unsettling. Some people say the reverse clap belongs to drowning victims. People who died underwater, their bodies become swollen, waterlogged, their fingers stiff, their hands no longer able to move the way living hands should. So when their spirits return, when they come back to welcome someone new into the depths, they cannot clap normally. They clap like this. Back of hand against back of hand. A broken applause from the drowned, and if you see it, some say it means they're welcoming you next. For years, Ura Hakushu lived mostly online, whispered through Japanese forums, shared in occult threads, told in late-night TV specials. Then people started connecting it to celebrities. And that's when the legend became much harder to ignore. One of the most famous names connected to this curse is Tsunku. If you know J-pop, you know how important Tsunku is. He was a musician, producer, songwriter, a hitmaker. Before becoming a legendary producer, he was part of a rock band called Sharam Q. They had massive hits, sold millions of records. Then later, Tsunku became one of the creative forces behind Morning Musume, one of Japan's most iconic girl groups. He built careers, wrote songs, created an entire era of idol culture. Then everything changed. Tsunku was diagnosed with laryngeal cancer of the voice box. For anyone, that diagnosis is terrifying. But for someone whose entire life revolved around sound, music, and voice, it was devastating. He went through treatment. For a while, there was hope. The cancer shrank. People believed maybe he had beaten it, but then it returned. And in 2015, to survive, Tsunku had to make the most painful decision of his life. He had his vocal cords removed, his voice was gone. The same voice that helped shape his career. Gone forever. Then, after his diagnosis, people online started digging through old footage. Old performances, old television appearances, looking for signs, warnings, anything. And eventually someone found a clip, a Sharam Q appearance from 1997. At first, the video looks completely normal. Bright studio lights, a cheerful host, a laughing audience, applause when Tsunku walks on stage. But then, if you look closely, some people noticed something in the audience. 2 pairs of hands clapping strangely. Not palm to palm, back of hand against back of hand. The reverse clap. The clip spread across the Japanese internet. Occult bloggers claimed the gesture had cursed him, that the warning had been sitting there the whole time, hidden in plain sight. Skeptics immediately pushed back. And honestly, their argument makes sense. The footage was from 1997. Nobody talked about the clap back then. Nobody called it a curse. Nobody connected it to anything. Only after Tsunku became ill did people look backward and say, there, that's the sign. Maybe that's confirmation bias. Maybe humans are just pattern-hunting creatures, desperate to make tragedy feel less random. But believers asked a different question. What if the sign was always there? What if nobody noticed until the curse had already finished its work? That question is why this legend spread. Because once you see the gesture, you can't really unsee it. Another story connected to Ura Hakushu comes from comedian Masao Yoshi. He shared it during one of Japan's summer paranormal programs. The kind of show where celebrities sit under dim lighting, tell ghost stories, and slowly regret agreeing to be there. At the time, Yoshi was young, still new to television. This was one of his first major appearances. He was standing on set before filming began, nervous, trying to absorb everything. The lights, the cameras, the staff moving around. In front of him, there was an assistant director. Just a normal staff member doing normal work, arranging equipment, checking the scene, nothing strange. Then Yoshi felt the temperature drop. At first, he thought it was the studio air conditioning. Big studios can get cold, but this felt different, a colder kind of cold. Then he noticed something on the assistant director's shoulders. 2 spots, one on each side. They had not been there a few seconds earlier. And for some reason, Yoshi couldn't look away. The spots began changing, darkening, opening, until they looked like eyes. 2 pairs of eyes, staring directly at him. Then rehearsal began. Everything went normally. The strange marks disappeared. The assistant director seemed fine again. By the time actual filming started, Yoshi told himself he must have imagined it. Maybe nerves, maybe lighting, maybe exhaustion. But then he saw the children. Behind the assistant director stood a little girl and a little boy, one on each side. And immediately Yoshi felt something was wrong. The audience members were seated in their proper places. No, children usually weren't allowed at that kind of recording. And yet there they were, standing behind him, silent, watching. The girl stared at the assistant director, and as she stared, he began coughing, hard, violently. Then the boy reached out and touched his shoulder. The assistant director jerked, rolled his shoulders like something had cramped or stabbed him. Still, the filming continued. No one stopped. No one else seemed to react. Finally, the shoot ended. The cast bowed. The crew thanked everyone. The audience began clapping, and that's when Yoshi saw the children again. They were applauding, but their palms never touched. They clapped with the backs of their hands again and again. Later, Yoshi went to see someone he knew who practiced spiritual work, a kind of shaman. He told her everything. She listened carefully. Then she froze. Show me the way they clapped. So Yoshi demonstrated, back of hand against back of hand. The moment he did it, the room changed. Her expression shifted. She looked genuinely disturbed. Then she asked, "The assistant director, is he still alive?" She explained the meaning of the gesture, that the reverse clap wasn't just strange, it was a death omen, a curse, a sign that something from the other side was calling. In Yoshi's story, those children weren't applauding him. They were clapping toward the assistant director, as if saying, "Come with us, die, meet us over there." Nobody knows what happened to that assistant director. At least no public record confirms it. But for many people who heard Yoshi tell the story, that didn't matter. The image was enough. Two children, standing where they shouldn't be, clapping the wrong way. And once Ura Hakushu entered mainstream television, it didn't stay small anymore. Around 2008, the reverse clap began appearing on Japanese message boards like 2Channel. At first, it was just another internet ghost story. A strange warning, a weird gesture, a little cursed nugget floating through the digital fog. But by 2011, longer stories were being posted on occult forums. People claimed to have seen the gesture before deaths, before accidents, before unexplained illness. Then in 2013, a horror storyteller named Tanaka Toshiyuki told a story about the reverse clap on Kaidan Grand Prix, a televised competition for ghost stories. His version called it abakobe, meaning backwards or opposite, and he won. Millions of people watched. The reverse clap went from forum rumor to national nightmare. After that, stories appeared everywhere. Some involved idols, some involved staff members, some involved ordinary people who performed the gesture as a joke, only to regret it later. One rumor claimed that during an idol group's trainee days, one girl jokingly did the reverse clap at her friend. Just playing around, nothing serious. That friend later died. Years later, during a performance, a staff member allegedly saw someone in the audience who looked exactly like the girl who had died. Same face, same outfit, the exact clothing she had reportedly worn when she passed. When the performance ended and the audience began applauding, the girl clapped too. Back of hand against back of hand. Of course, we don't know if that story is true. Many details were kept anonymous, names changed, sources unclear. But that's exactly how urban legends survive. Not through proof, through repetition. Another story involves an idol who reportedly became distressed during filming when someone performed the reverse clap. She cried, begged them to stop, and people watching noticed that her fear didn't look staged. Whether the curse was real or not, her reaction was. And sometimes that's all a story needs. Because the reverse clap works as horror for one very simple reason. Anyone can do it. You don't need a haunted house, a mirror, a doll, a ritual circle. Just your hands. That's what makes it dangerous in people's minds. It's too easy, too casual, too close to ordinary life. So if you see someone clapping with the backs of their hands, don't laugh. Don't copy them. And maybe, don't stand too close. This was night 1 of 7 nights of forbidden rituals. Tomorrow night, we'll open another forbidden door. Until then, sleep well. And be careful what you do with your hands. I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast You Can't Unhear.